Hey everybody, this is my Module 14 Persuasive Speech for Communications. Okay. My topic is going to be capital punishment. It should be legal in all 50 U.S. states. So I got a little scenario to put yourself in. So let's say you're a parent of a kid and you send the kid off to school. You think it's going to be a normal day at school, go through your everyday life, go to work. Halfway through the workday, you get a phone call from the cops or police saying that your child has been murdered at school. Well, the first things that come to your mind is how and why. Well, some of the feelings that you get towards that is some people feel hate, disbelief. It also puts a burden upon your shoulders, asking yourself, why did I send my child to school? And astonishment, and you also suffer in the long run. So this is the reasons to why it should be legal. Gives closure to the families. It's a cheaper cost for the state. And it also does conserve jail space. And it gets the suspect's life over with the suffering and stuff. Because sometimes they're usually on a high or something like that, which they really don't mean to, kill the person, but it just goes down like that. So we got some ways to execute the suspect. We got gas. You can do a firing squad. It's still legal. Hanging is still legal in 2 states. The electric chair and lethal injection, which is the most common in the United States. All right, so the gas is the suspect's placed into a gas chamber. The warden comes in. Suspect gives his last words. Warden drops a canister into the gas chamber, and the suspect will eventually pass away. We also have the firing squad. The suspect is cuffed down into a chair, and 5 members come in from the police force, and 1 is assigned with a gun with a bullet. The rest of them's got like blanks, and they fire at the suspect, and 1 hits him in the head. Hanging, like I said, is still legal, but only in 2 states. The suspect is up on a platform, noose around his neck, and then the platform's removed, and it breaks the spinal cord, which instantly kills. We also have the electric chair. The suspect is sat in a chair with a battery on the side of it, and he puts on this cap, and it is a leather cap, so it doesn't conduct electricity, and the electricity is impulsed throughout the body and kills instantly. We also have the lethal injection. It's the most common in the United States. The suspect comes in, lays down in a hospital bed. The doctor comes in, places an IV into the suspect's left arm, and pushes fluids throughout the body. And the first fluid that goes in numbs the suspect's body. The second one puts it to sleep. And the third one, it puts them to death. So we got a case right here where lethal injection was used. It was used in the Kennedy versus Louisiana case. Patrick Kennedy was proven guilty of rape of an 8-year-old and was punished to the death penalty by lethal injection. So some of the states that still have the death penalty active, these are just a few. There's a lot more in the United States, but here's only a few, and these will come in later in the speech. We have Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, and Virginia. So why I mention those states is the crime rates. The crime rates will eventually go down. If the suspect knows that he's going to kill another individual, well, that just pretty much tells them that, I don't want to die, and, it won't likely to do the suspect any good to kill the person. So here's some crime rates. The top 2 states right here are Michigan and Wisconsin, and those states do not have the death penalty, so the suspects do not have anything to worry about. Michigan has a whopping 43 deaths per year. That is the highest. And then you have Wisconsin with 24 murders. That is, I think, the 4th highest, with the bottom 2 states right here being Texas and Arizona. Those states do have every kind of death penalty, except Arizona does not have hanging. So Texas has 2 murders per year, and Arizona has less than 1 murder per year. Okay, here we have a case. It's the Julie Heath case. Um, she was an 18-year-old girl going to visit her boyfriend at college, and her car suddenly breaks down on the side of the road. Well, this stranger named Eric Nance comes up, offers the girl a ride to go get her car fixed. Well, little does she know that this would be the worst decision of her life. 8 miles they travel, and all of a sudden the car comes to a stop. Eric Nance raped and killed Julie that night and cut her throat 8 miles from the scene. After the body was eventually found in the woods by a hunter, the family gave some quotes in court, and here's some of the quotes. It tore my family apart. And that really does hit me because, you know, it's really one thing to just lose somebody out of an instance, but the whole family being torn apart is just a whole nother thing. Julie's mother and sister was diagnosed with depression right after she got killed, so that just tells you how bad it can be. So there was a study in 2012 that showed that families have a higher chance of closure if the suspect is put to death or executed. Okay, and here's another reason why it should be legal. It's the cheaper way out. So a prison inmate, on average, they cost the state around $31,000 to live per year, and that comes right out of the taxpayers' money. So it's coming right out of your pocket, and you're paying for something that they did towards hate. So I don't really understand that. Okay, do you think that cold-blooded killers should be given, you know, innocence? Well, all of us really think of this as like, you know, my family doesn't want this and everything else. But in the end, they should have the death penalty, and the family should have their closure. And that would be everything. Thank y'all.